we doing today's call in Russian or no?
Why in Russian?
Well, we were talking about it before about doing
not weekly calls.
Not weekly.
We never
do
weekly calls in Russian.
All righty.
Separate call in Russian, please. It would be great to have it this week.
Yeah, no problem. You just
say time.
Yeah,
any time after 9 o'clock, I'm fine. At 9 o'clock evening.
So without me then.
Okay, tell me when you can do that, and let's.
Before 6 p.m. Moscow time.
That's almost never possible.
Mita, don't forget we have that thing at 6 o'clock.
Not today, of course, and not tomorrow. Maybe Thursday. How about Thursday? Let's do Thursday, maybe. Thursday sounds good. Should I write it down?
We're talking before about
Thursday, which time? What time?
Oh, can you mute, please, whoever?
All righty.
Yeah.
Somebody mute your YouTube channel.
Yeah, great.
I can hear myself 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, sorry. It was me.
Yeah, okay. So 6 o'clock Moscow time.
Thursday. Okay.
Russian community call.
It would be great.
Sure, no problem.
That's on Thursday?
That's on Thursday, yeah.
All right. And don't forget we have that thing at 6 o'clock, Mita.
How many times do you need to?
Well, until I know and hear you confirm.
I already confirmed that 20 times.
You didn't.
Okay, anyway. I think we should start. We have a very interesting call today. I should maybe start my video. I had a haircut, believe it or not. they opened everything here, and so yeah.
It looks great. Did you do it yourself?
No, you
Just
do it
kidding.
yourself. I mean, that's why you
I
have
did.
a cap on. So
yes, this is true. Yes. Worst thing I ever did to my head.
yeah.
Hey everyone.
Hi.
Hi everybody. Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, so we have an agenda, I think, and the agenda very simple today. Hope it will be like a usual short call. We have proposed. I have proposed to talk about contests a little bit, which have been started, and let's talk about how they are organized, or let's say not organized yet. And then we will talk about very, very interesting. We will hear from New Foundation about the progress with zero knowledge proofs for Ton and for free Ton, and that's I think really absolutely great. Let's hear about that. Very interesting. And then the Q&A, unless someone wants to add anything to the agenda. So please do.
I made a quick proposal. If time allows, let's see how quickly we go. I would suggest to briefly discuss approach to community building around the world. Should we reward like country leaders with some tokens through contests, obviously? At least that point. I have a couple of more, like the referral program, but maybe it's too much for today. But let's see again how we go on time.
Yes, great. Let's add this to agenda. And so maybe I'll share my screen first and just show a little bit what has been done over last week in terms of so we have opened a forum, forum on freeton.org, and it's been largely successful. I think a lot of people have contributed. Thank you very, very much for your contribution. I think that's really great. It shows very you can see that, I posted some, but then people started to post, and that's really great. I hope to read that all, and and if needed to kind of participate in discussion as much as I can. But I urge everyone from the community to participate in the discussions. They are very, very interesting, very insightful. I think it's a great community we are building. So very exciting stuff. Now, we have posted contest proposals here. So, and then some people also added some topics. So there are, if you see here, contest, it means that.
Mitya, I think you're not sharing your screen anymore. I think I broke it. I clicked something. Just want to share it again.
I need to share it again?
Everything is okay. I see me.
Yeah, I can still see it.
Yeah, I can see it, Brendan.
Now
Yeah,
it's
okay.
Okay, it's just me.
I reshared.
Okay, great.
So,
Thanks.
so we have here, like, whenever we have this is validators contest, and oops, sorry, it brings me to. So I have posted the validator contest here. It's a proposal, and then people start to discuss, and I think that's great. So we have 3 proposals which are here: the airdrop mechanics, and again, people discussed that a lot, already brought a lot of ideas. I think this is really, really great, really interesting. So the forum has started to, and we will post the proposals here, and you can post your whatever you want here, proposals or anything substantive, anything that is well described, well kind of articulated. You are very welcome to post it here. Then on top of that, we have created, so on the community side, yeah, maybe just a quick update. As such that we had added groups, and I think international groups starting to form, and we're welcoming everyone here. There's a Korean group, the Spanish group has started to give some activities, and there is actually a proposal for a Spanish group participation on the forum, and we will definitely should review that and maybe prepare it for next contest, as Sasha said, to actually promote some community activities around the world, and I think that's great. We have added Italian community, which is welcome again. Buon minuto, friton a tutti. So I think that's really great. Also, more people are joining all the time. So we also have created, where it is now, proposals. We have created something here, and we will add the link to that. That actually relates to the proposal. So here is the formal stuff, which is basically a page to create proposals. These proposals, these are formal contest proposals, and anyone who has this proposal key, can create a proposal. For now, these keys are distributed among the first, set of validators and whoever has the token. And of course, once we advance a little bit technically and give more tokens away, then of course anyone who has, we will basically change this proposal key by the wallet address, your wallet address, and then once you have a wallet with some tons, anyone with some tons will be able to propose, but that will take some time to develop yet. So for now, and anyway, nobody has tons except for initial set of validators. So initial set of validators have all received this key. So whoever has the key,
I think everybody's received the key now, Mitch. All right, it's on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I think.
No, I'm saying we're live on YouTube, so.
Oh no! This is not the key. I will explain what this is. This is the proposal wallet address. I will explain in a second.
Okay. Okay.
So
sure.
you have received the key, is a secret key for everyone right now, for each of you. Now, so each of you can create a formal contest for voting, and we are expecting to do that today. But nevertheless, and I want to emphasize that the proposals has been published on the forum, and you're free to start preparing your contests and work on your solutions for the contest, because we will do that today. We should do that today. We should vote for this proposal. So you should provide a title, you should provide a link to discussion on the forum to the proposal. Then you should add a multi-sig wallet that will actually be voting for this. It can be judge wallet, jury wallet, or just initial validators wallet, whatever it is. Your proposal key. And then the proposal wallet address is generated by himself. And it's for every proposal, there is a new smart contract address. And the whenever the judges will or validators will vote, the voting contract, the multisig, will send a special message to this contract, and that's how we know it's been approved. So all the contests will be here, all the contest proposals will be here. I cannot show it because it's actually on the mainnet, and there is no proposal. But you will see it here on freetongue/proposals. And we will vote after the proposal is published, and after the voting has been initiated. There is a special multi-signature wallet we have compiled, which has 24 hours waiting time for all the signatures. So we have, once the voting has been initiated, all of us has 24 hours to vote. And in TonOS CLI, we have created a special command for voting, so it will be easier for everyone. And of course, we will share that documentation today in the group, so everyone can can vote on this proposals on chain. Now, this is just the beginning. Whatever we could do for the few days, and we will work on this more on this platform this week to add actually so contest participants will be able to add
Just
their
one comment. 24 hours seems very short to me. I mean, let's say this is something that one wants to discuss internally, or if this falls like on a weekend, or so I think it would allow for better participation and maybe better decisions if there was a longer voting period.
Yeah, I agree with Brian that we need more time. I mean, usually it can take like even a week or 2 weeks. I mean, for now, we can work with some proposals faster, but later, I mean, for updates, for example, we see like in other networks, it took about like a week or two for really voting, because sometimes you need to make an audit of the code. Sometimes you need to look on the design, and it takes a lot of time. So I agree with Brian. But for example, if we already discussed like these proposals and we need to push them, we can push them like in some way, yeah, and do it faster. But it's not.
Guys, let me just maybe I wasn't clear. When you post it here, you have as much time as you want to initiate the voting. It's just after the first message has been sent, the voting has been initiated, then everyone should vote within 24 hours. So it's not, and anytime if you didn't want to vote, for example, we can just resend the message and vote again. So it's just basically from the message, from the starting of the voting to the end of the voting, 24 hours, but not from the actually publishing of the proposal here.
Yeah, but I mean, even for voting, you need time. I mean, usually it's very difficult. Even for now, it's not a lot of people, but when it will be like decentralized.
Well, it will be decentralized on SMV, and that's a totally different thing. So
yeah, it will be totally different. But it's still, even for like not when it's not a lot of validators now. It's still decentralized, but it's not a lot. I mean, it's also need more time. But for now, we can try to do it in 24 hours and then to do it better.
I think, again, we can recompile with more, but for these proposals, we actually need to vote for them, for these 3 proposals to start contest, which has been started yesterday. I think we just need to vote, quickly. Otherwise, the contest will pass by the time we vote.
Yeah, I'm agreeing about this contest because we already discussing them more than a week, and it's also drafts are available for a long time. So yeah, we can push them.
Yeah, thanks. So I think that's it, unless you have more questions on the contests. So again, to recap, there are 3 contests basically ongoing. We should confirm them. We have discussed them last week. They are on the forum. There are discussions on the forum about them already. You can go read that, and let's confirm that. Just confirm these 3 contests, maybe today or the latest tomorrow, I suggest.
Maybe we need some longer period for those contests because they started not very well, and maybe we need.
I agree, by the way. So we should add 3 more days because we started a little bit later than we expected.
Not a problem. I mean,
maybe till 1st of June, for example.
1st of June. That's too long, guys. I think again. I think we want like.
People are only reading the rules right now. They will continue reading the rules and understanding what they need to do till the end of this week, and only then they will start doing something.
And I tend to agree. I tend to agree. I think since we're just starting out and not everybody has sort of digested the rules and understood everything, I think maybe we should give it a little bit more time so everybody sort of gets on board. I tend to second that motion.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Like with if you want to just increase the time for this particular contest. But
yes. Only this one, because we need people to understand how to take part and how it all works.
Yeah, but we need to also, we have a line of contests which we also want to initiate. So I hope that will not affect whenever we start to initiate new contests. I think at least next Monday we should initiate already new contests which can run in parallel. There's no problem.
Yeah, they can run consecutively. Yeah.
Yeah,
why not?
If that's okay, because I really want, from my perspective, we really need to, to get more contests as quickly as possible for different parts, and just initiate them in, like in bulks, not one contest 2 weeks and then another contest for 2 weeks, because that will take years to do. I think if we want to bring more participation from more people from different backgrounds and sources, I think we have to start this activity way more intensified going forward. So yeah, I don't have a problem with getting this particular 3 contests time frame for the first of, but for example SMV, we need to start programming this. So the first stage of the SMV contest is just for proposals for the design, basically a contest of ideas. If we increase that until 1st of June, when are we going to write them? When are we going to verify them, audit them, and stuff like that? It will take us to, I don't know. So from my perspective, for the SMV part, I would really not, we can continue to discuss the designs until 1st, but as long as we start the programming contests next Monday. And I have to insist on that in terms of the, in terms of the SMV contract, because it's so important. We need to really start programming that as quickly as possible. Really. So I would really not like to delay that for additional week for the start of this contest, if possible. So that's my opinion.
We can start them, but maybe they can last longer, from start till accepting last results.
Yes, once the programming contest, well, programming contest anyway will not, it's not a weak contest. It should, should allow for a good time for programming. And, so yeah, it should be adequate, of course.
Okay, well, I think the general consensus here is that it's not so much a problem of time as much as bulk. So I mean, we can introduce lots of contests, but I think maybe just extend the time that it takes to get everything done. Maybe also think of like obviously the proposals are going to be the proposals page will be up. Should there be some sort of a template that every contest proposal should follow that's going to be there?
You're talking about the which?
In other words, I'm Bob Smith. I want to propose. I go to the proposal page rather than me.
There is a page explaining that on the forum. You can go.
Okay.
And there is a page.
So there's a template, a step-by-step template.
It's a general description of the. Oh, it's for tips actually, not for proposals. Yeah, we need to do that for
right. So in other words, I'm new. I have a great idea I want to make a proposal. There should be some sort of like we created obviously PDFs for the proposals that we have. Maybe use that as a template to put on the site so that whoever comes to make a proposal follows a certain basic set of stages. They have to present an idea, a motivation, and something like that.
Why won't you do that? We have
sure.
I have put tone improvement proposals guidelines on the forum. So let me just quickly share that. So I did something like that. By the way, if you have any comments on this, it's a tone improvement proposals guidelines on Free Tone forum. And I put it here. If you have any comments, please do comment here. And I think something like that for proposals, for contests. Yeah, sure. I think that's really a great idea.
Okay.
Yeah, Mitya, we have one more topic to discuss. As you saw on the forum, Nimrod asked to change the public key in multisig. So can we create some procedure for that and agree time for following this procedure?
Yeah, it will require set code with the new multisig contract and require everyone to, to resign again and to provide the the pub keys and
everyone
stuff like that.
Or 50 plus?
No. The set code will require 50 plus, and then of course the deployment of the multisig. I think I'm not sure about actually the new signatures, but yeah, but we need to approve the set code procedure, and we need to test it because these are every the system contracts will be affected. So it's really delicate procedure, which I don't want to do in a kind of hurry. So if that can wait a few days, because we really want to test that. We never did a set code on system contracts. So although it's the same thing, should be, but I really don't want to mess with, almost 5 billion tokens.
Okay, let's test it for sure.
Yeah. So Nimrod is not here, but he said that he will join. But anyway, once he joined, maybe we discuss that again. I mean, I will explain the kind of the delicacy of the situation.
Let's move to another topic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
sure, move on.
Okay, Michael, do you want to present a presentation about ZK?
Yeah, hi. I could do that. I think I need to share the screen, I believe. Just let me do that. Oh yeah, here it is. It works. So Yeah, coming to ZK snarks for Freeton is something, is something Dimitri is definitely aware of, is something most of the guys in here are definitely aware of. But for those who are not, we prepared some presentation which describes what we have right now, what we were, what we've done, how it's going. Well, it describes how it's going, how things are going with this. Well, okay. We also have our cryptography development team lead in here, Nikita. So he'll maybe help me asking or answering questions. You can ask him too, like for anything you'd like about it. Okay, ZK snarks for Freeton. So yeah, who we are and what we do is we are the Node Foundation. We support projects in database and cryptography. Like now, once upon a time, some time back, our internal cryptography team, NodeCrypto3, decided to, help Freeton with enabling to compute the ZK snarks inside the virtualized environment. So what we have done, that's something we have done before, like lots of stuff, and more, except this. What we're gonna do to Freeton is we were required to introduce somehow the ZK snark computation, the ZK cryptography, okay, to introduce ZK cryptography. And there was a choice, what particular construction to choose. Taking insight that, considering that the Freeton VM is a stack-based virtual machine with a very limited stack space, we decided to choose the Groth16 construction, which is a classic notion, which has become the classic notion, okay, for the last 4 years, and to make it work inside, to make it work within the virtualized environment. Well, what this can be useful for, we all know, like from Ethereum experience, like transaction privacy, gaming purposes, etc., like lots of stuff. And how are we going to do that? Well, what was that about? There were two ways actually how to do that. First way was to simply compile some CPP implementation of a ZK snark, or maybe some C implementation of ZK snark, okay, to Freeton VM assembly, which turned out to be messy, really messy. We spent quite a week trying that, and that was messy, really. That was horrible. So we decided that was quite a long process, and we will do that sometime after. And the second choice was we moved on to implementing this as an instruction, as a TonVM instruction, just as the fastest solution to be done. Then we'll get back to trying to make it executable inside a virtualized environment. So yeah, here are the pros and cons of compilation to TonVM assembly way, which is about, yeah, the pros are actually, and quite obvious pros, is about that we don't need to upgrade the whole replication protocol, is what Dimitri now is what Dimitri complained about some time ago. Yeah, that's messy. And the compiled to TonVM assembly, the code compiled to TonVM assembly could be, easily upgraded at any time, just like any other virtualized environment application. Cons, yeah, the obvious con is the performance issues. This is messy. The pros of embedding the ZK snark and Groth16 to TonVM as an instruction is obviously the performance. It's the native execution performance, okay? And that could be even outsourced to some GPU or any other stuff, because that's the part of a node, but that's the part of the virtual machine. So, and yeah, and that is obviously about the faster virtualized application compilation time. It's like, imagine you have your virtualized application being done in CPP, okay, and using the CPP compiler from Ton Labs. You're trying to compile that, and that takes forever to, not forever, but that takes time to, it takes different time to translate the whole ZK-Snark implementation from ZKP to the TonVM assembly, and to translate a simple function call to the instruction call. It's different time. Cons of such a solution are the requirement for protocol updates. That would the changes in the virtual machine would obviously require the whole cluster to be updated, which is possible to be done during the early steps, during the project's early steps, but it's completely impossible at some projects, like at projects when it will grow up, when it will develop itself, okay? So we use this unique time and we provide this. What we have more. So what we have chosen, actually. We have chosen to try both ways, as I mentioned. First of all, we tried to compile the ZK-Snark compilation to TonVM assembly, but that turned out messy. So we tried the way which is faster, to embed the ZK-Snark computation into the virtual machine as an instruction. We already have some work in progress at the link. It's really drafty, okay, and it contains even some private modules, links, etc., includes, and it's drafty, but we have something. You can take a look. It's like nothing special, but if you like reading CPP code, it's for you. Why have we chosen the Gross 16, which that it is because of its one of the smallest proof sizes. While the way of embedding the Gross 16 computation to TonVM requires careful stack management, careful stack space management, which is doable with using Gross 16. So we have reserved a couple of instruction codes for that, like 912 and 930, and which is actually mentioned in the repository at the link. That's it. Well, yeah. When we now estimate this task to be done at most in 24 weeks. Like that sounds huge, sounds long, really long. But if we only expect the ZK-Snark to be embedded as a virtual machine instruction, this could be done a lot earlier. We believe that, at least. So here, how are things happening?
Yep. Thank you, Mikhail. Thanks a lot. That's really great. We didn't hear from you in terms of like, I have to say that Mikhail team didn't reach out to us yet in terms of like with the compiler team for C++ compiler, and nor for VM team, but we're ready, we're here. Mikhail, if you ever need our help on both compilation and or virtual machine implementation or help with anything, so please reach out to us.
Yeah, we'll definitely will. We just tried to, that was only the first sprint of what we have done, and we tried what is already available. So before reaching out to something, you should try what is right now.
Personally, I think it will never compile into VM. I don't know. I think it's
we can bet on it.
But yeah, well, no. Let's not bet. Of course, it just on the top of my head. Yeah, obviously, like of course, going like I think this is a very major thing for Ton to have these constructions. Enabled. Obviously, I don't know if we can really seriously talk about blockchain, modern blockchain, without some form of ZKP enabled on it. I mean, I think it's just impossible to even imagine that. So that's why, you know, we have invited a new foundation to participate in that effort. I think it's hugely important. And again, this is just the first implementation. 24 weeks doesn't sound much at all. It took Ethereum, I think, years
Oh, come on.
to do. So, and no, just no pun intended. But we definitely need that. Of course, growth 16 is not the, like, it's not the end of the constructions, as we all know that, and we want to see, you know, Sonic and Planck stuff developing going forward, hopefully.
Why not?
Providing, yeah, sure. I mean, that's really interesting stuff, you know, going away from trusted setup, going into like all kind of different optimization stuff. So yeah, I mean, looking forward to that for sure. But even just for the beginning, just a very, you know, basic ZK snark enabling, it's hugely important. So I think that's very important presentation work you're doing. Thank you very much for your contribution.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions maybe, guys, to the team or to anyone?
Okay, no questions.
No questions.
Michael, you did like a first sprint, and so you made first research of this task. And do you have any estimates when we can try it on testnet? I understand that never say like dates in the development of such complicated things, but I mean, you said that you have already part of the code, and also, as I understand, part of them are private, or and why?
Yep, they are still private because we're cleaning them out. We were not sure if that was, you know, if we were not ashamed to share them right now in the state they are. But you know, that's something you can take a look at. You know, maybe at their interfaces, which are already, you know, embedded in the public TonVM implementation we share. And have we tried that on testnet? We tried, really. We tried to get this thing up and going, actually. That was the first task. And like, that was not okay. That didn't went well. And so right now we're patching that again. Maybe this is something what we will need some help of Ton Labs team in some time.
Happy to do that. Happy to do that. Absolutely.
And when are you going to publish your source code of this, like, libraries?
That's about the development timeline Nikita will be having here.
I think it will be around the start of June or like that. I think we'll publish it one part and then the other part when it will be finished. And I think some finished parts of the code we'll publish them to the start of the June, I think.
Great. Okay.
Well, yeah, parts Nikita is talking about are the, you know, parts for finite fields operations, for FFT required somewhere, for, you know, like hashes, etc., which are required by, you know, like ZK Snark library of ours, which we have embedded into the TonVM implementation. So these are the parts Nikita is talking about.
Yes, I mean the cryptography math parts, and we debug them right now, and this part will be finished first, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sounds good. All right. So,
global community.
yep. Sash, do you want to talk
Let
about that?
me give a couple of introductory words indeed. I think what's important is that if we want Freeton to make truly big and truly international, and I guess everybody on this call and in the community is fully behind, we really need to engage global communities, particularly in the active blockchain countries in terms of development and in terms of usage. As we all know, we have very active French, Spanish, Korean, and Russian community. Since a couple of days ago, Italian community took off as a rocket. Thank you, Darian and Matteo, for the great effort there. We have Chinese, hopefully warming up, but we would love to see more activity. I am seeing Malta community being born as we speak, and Malta being a small country is very active in the blockchain space. And their university has actually a blockchain department. So I hope their students would participate. But we need, we need Germany, we need Israel, we need UK, we need Canada, we need all of the countries. So my first proposal is for everybody on this call is to contribute with introductions into creating local communities. At least we have people here from Germany, Israel, UK, Ukraine, I guess. Yeah, so jump in. I mean, I'm personally now helping to incubate the Maltese community, Maltese chapter. So jump in, and the question I want to raise is shall we remunerate community leaders for the contribution? It doesn't have to be huge. Let's discuss. Should it be 100,000 TON tokens or a little bit more? But I think it would be even if it is symbolic, it would be a sign of appreciation in a material form. Some of them are being active. I'll give you an example that would be actually news for some of you. The head of this French community, Philippe, on Friday applied together with a couple of partners and technical support from the labs, applied for the tender of Bank of France for a central bank digital currency pilot. And free TON is mentioned as a proposed backend. So that's a great traction, I think, by the French community. So let's have more of that coming. I don't know, what do you guys think about, making a contest and remunerating winners? And hopefully this way we would step change the growth of global community, country by country.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent idea. I think it's going to help motivate a lot of people to sort of migrate to Freeton and start doing something. Absolutely. Yeah, we need to come up with something.
Let's hear more voices and proposals. I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is maybe have like a very simple KPI. I don't know, 50 members. I'm just making it up. 50 members, 100,000 tokens. 200 members or 300 members, 200,000 tokens. A couple of KPIs, simple KPIs. Obviously, ideally, we need to measure engagement and impact, but I think that could be done later. Right now, we just need to have the snowball, rolling and getting some snow, and then we can measure the quality and the roundness of that snowball later on in the second phase. So let's just have a few more opinions on this. How if that's a good idea, I can probably take her on.
If you will define payments in advance, the only thing you'll get a lot of bots and people who came only because of that payment you gave to them.
That's a good point. That's something we need to address with every contest.
Sasha, replacing people's motivation from building the community itself to earning money. That's very important too. If you'll pay in advance for each action, you won't have any people at all here who will do something for community. Only if they get something as a payment, and then they will ask you for each thing they will do. Hey, where is my reward?
That's a great point. That's why I brought it up. I was thinking about it as well. You can look at it like this. You can look at it as being strategically aligned to the long-term success of the network. That's another way of looking at it. So, but look, this is exactly why I brought this up. If this would be so obvious, I mean, I guess we would just vote in the chat quickly and get going.
Yeah. I mean, I share this concern a lot. I think there is a risk that, okay, I'm obviously if you're going to give tokens, then people will come. It would be easier to get people to show up. But is that going to lead to a long-term community that's actually healthy and functional? I'm not sure. I think, I mean, of course, I don't know if that's a good, it's also not a satisfying solution, but, you know, of course, if somebody goes and works for 6 months to build something and, you know, does valuable work, of course, they should get rewarded. But yeah, I think it's a tricky problem.
Well, can't we use some kind of vesting or multi-sig wallets that could be locked for 6 months, but community will get? Well, first of all, let's define what do you mean by engaging, let's say 50 people, okay? What do you mean? Getting 50 people into groups? That will, anybody can do that, right? What's next?
Yeah, we saw a Korean community which formed in one day and reached more than 700 people, by the way.
Yeah, I have a like proposal to make. Maybe we have exactly a contest running on right now about the, you know, community airdrops and all that discussion. Why won't we go through that process to discuss this? I mean, we have a forum. There are people who are sharing ideas about how to involve communities. That's exactly why we have this contest. Why won't we go and you know, propose something there? Like Sasha can write something on the forum, and we will discuss it there. And if it's a sustainable kind of way to distribute tokens, because there is a way to distribute tokens and there is a way to build communities. And I totally agree with Brian and with Serge. That's not the same thing.
I think we're in a bit of a, you know, everybody's trying to do everything super decentralized and super, you know, listening to everybody's and collecting everybody's opinions. And I think that to some extent we're moving too slow, you know, to be very, very, you know, I'm Israeli, so I'm allowed to be very blunt and direct, but I think we should move way faster. And, you know, I've written this in the Telegram group as well. I think we're, if we want to actually make it happen, it needs to be fast. The current narrative in many of the, you know, news groups and news websites is that Ton is dead, and, you know, Telegram shut it down, blah 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 blah, and there's no new narrative. Nobody. I mean, it was mentioned, free Ton, but it's not like the main narrative. So I would say that we need to create a timeline, and I would prefer, instead of a decentralized deadlock, to have something which, you know, we offer like the next 3 steps for the next 3 weeks. First week, we go with some PR. Second week, we save the time for the, you know, whatever mechanism we decide on for the airdrop. And the third week, we do the airdrop or something like that. Otherwise, it just will become another project that nobody's certain about what's going on with it. What was the last time they heard about it? That's my biggest fear about this project.
Nimrod, hi. Well, I would disagree, because first of all, we see that every day there are news coming out about the contest, about the development, and now we can make this some news with the ZK snars introduced. It's also a good step forward. This is first. Second, it's very hard to introduce free Ton and break the narrative of Telegram, because Telegram itself as a messenger is huge story for everyone. And now, you know, putting a free Ton layer on top of that and tell the whole world, you know, forget about everything, and now here we are, it's not that easy. So I think we should go step by step. This is first, but on the other hand, I do agree with you that we should maybe, in a way, try to make things faster, maybe, and have a plan in place. First week, second week, and third week goals, and that's the way we should go. Because if we try to to take it slow, as you're saying, and you're right. It will be very slow processes, trying to negotiate and trying to decentralize it as much as possible, but not decentral. Decentral is a good thing, but taking it too slow is a bad thing. So let's try to find a balance. We are already enough decentralized, okay? For such a young network that is being launched, we are quite decentralized. So we have a lot of opinions, a lot of people on board, and we just all need to be more proactive and go as according to the steps that we decide. We need to have some milestones every week. I agree with you totally.
Okay, I think it could be an amazing narrative. Again, I'm not a PR guy, but I think the narrative is, you know, it's amazing. It's the freest and the most decentralized. It's like it was supposed to be supporting the Telegram network as a decentralized currency. Telegram, because it is not decentralized enough, couldn't bear it. That's why we decided to free it completely and, you know, sever all connections to something that can be stopped. And, you know, information wants to be free, blah, blah, blah. I think it could be a very, very strong narrative, and especially appealing to all the crypto community. And I'm not deep in so many forums, but in all the forums I've been in, like in Satoshi Roundtable and Alpha Group, I think some of you are there as well. The narrative was, yeah, Ton canceled and the token is dead. So I think that's why, again, I don't know what the mechanism could be. I made some connections with the guys I like in PR, but we really don't have to work with them if we don't want. I think we should find a way to either harness someone who is a believer and can do the PR work, or decide of a way to pay with tokens to the PR company, whoever we choose. And again, it should be done really, really fast, I think. And I absolutely understand what you're saying. And I just see it, you know, I can't put more than, you know, I try to answer messages on the forum, and I try to follow the Telegram. It's just too much, and all of us have a lot of stuff to do on day to day. And it just, you know, every day that passes, we're becoming less relevant, I fear. And that's what I really don't want to happen.
No, that's true.
Can Sinemrat why Simplex is such a successful company? I like your style.
Because I never give up.
Congratulations on that. I think it's a question of balance. I think we do need to decide on the deadlines and move forward very decisively, but also to allow, you know, proper democracy and then consideration into the chat. I, for example, like the discussion about the global communities. So it's striking the right balance, and I think we'll need to find a way going forward how we find that balance.
Yeah, I also want to add that my team, you know, the engineering team and Ton Labs, were like I think 4 weeks, 14, 16 hours a day. No, you know, sometimes no sleep, sometimes definitely no weekends. I mean, we cannot go like that forever.
Of course.
Yeah, it's just impossible. And so we're from our, you know, part doing everything we can to move as fast as possible. Now, I can only say that when you create a meritocratic organization like what we're doing in Ton Labs, and you know, we always had this example of Red Hat book about how the meritocratic organization, what's the problems you have there in terms of decision making, obviously, because you need to negotiate with all the people who have merit on the topic. So it takes a little bit longer. But for me, from my experience, the only how to solve that is to make processes which works. And what I hope to do and what I hope to see in Freeton as well is that we're you know, decentralized as much as possible community, which also has processes. And I think if we install the right processes, it will all move much faster with the time. But of course, it takes also time to establish this process. So right now, what I think we have already established some process of the contests and how to bring ideas, how to discuss these ideas. And that's why actually I was not to prolong this contests and get it, you know, within the time frame that we had, exactly for this reason that Nimrod has brought up, like that if we just prolong each contest, it will just take too time, will drag, too long. So I think, again, my point is that we have a process. Let's try to make this process work. I think it's a good process. Let's make it more efficient, and let's start more contests, more different contests, including the contest for the community building and maybe PR contests and stuff like that. Let's try to bring these ideas, to formalize these ideas inside the contests, to perform these contests, and that's the process. I think that's something that can organize us as a community. I hope.
Yeah.
Yes,
I just want to add something. Yes, I just want to add that for now we try to make really very small contest. I mean, for airdrop, and the idea is to try this process. I mean, to try to design as a airdrop for the one group. Yes, for a group of Ton community, and it's complicated task, and we have a lot of ideas about that, and we don't know what is the best one. And the idea was to take one simple task and to make a contest for design of this task, and we will look, is it work or it doesn't work, and I mean, and we will see it in 1 week. So we will spend only 1 week on it, and if it's work good, we can use our ideas to create a contest for PR, for community engagement, for example, community management of groups, and create an open contest. And also, if someone, for example, want to join or has an idea how he can contribute, or she, yes, the company can contribute, he can give us a proposal. We will make a contest, and this company will win this contest if their proposal will be the best.
Yeah, I also just wanted to add, we're actually, and I wanted to address Nimrod directly. We have an idea for a PR and an editorial contest that we're working on right now. Your input would be fantastic. I'd love to see anything that we could do. Maybe we can collaborate and sort of come up with a good idea to do something like that together. So the way I see it, there's really 3 PR related contests right now that have sort of come to the table. One is just basic PR, where we would want to involve PR agencies, we'd want to involve journalists and so forth. The second I also think would be a good one is an editorial and writing contest that we've discussed. So essentially give people the opportunity to write about Freeton so that it can be published, and based on what they can present, how good the article is, we vote on that. And of course, the geographic community contest, essentially different languages, different cultures, and that sort of thing. Those are 3 contests right there.
Yeah, and just maybe just one thing about this, how I think about the speed of this thing. In my head, I don't know, maybe it's a strange thing I see in my head, but in my head, I see like that we produce a contest every day, that everyone can come to freeton.org or forum, the contest platform, and see something for themselves running all the time, like running, and they can contribute to that or to this, or being different people from different backgrounds, different communities can contribute to this, and contribute their time, their ideas, and their skills to the building of this community. And the contest is a great way to do that, because contests, like what Serge said in the beginning, and what Brian said, is it's delinking the remuneration from the result directly, because it's only really promoting the winners. It gives the opportunity, but it's not a payment for a work. And I think this is a very important disconnect that we have to preserve. Otherwise, again, we will not build a community. We will build some kind of, I don't know, distributed workforce.
I think that with PR, it will be, again, I don't know enough about PR myself, but PR agencies are hired guns. If you can't get a hired gun if you don't hire him.
But we don't have to anything to hire with. This is a community work, and we currently we don't have any currency. We don't have any money in terms of fiat money, like as a community. We don't have a foundation with piles of money like some other cryptocurrencies has. This network was built, I think, on the idea of decentralization, no investment, grassroots movement in a way. So I understand, there are some people that are just to work for money, and that's totally respectable, and of course. But if someone wants to contribute to the community, there are ways to do that. If not, then I guess there cannot be part of the community. And again, when you did Bitcoin in the beginning, nobody thought about money then. People were contributing to the great idea, but that they thought the idea will be important. And I think the ideas we're trying to convey are important. Maybe, I hope so.
I agree that they're important. I just think it's again, I think it's different from Bitcoin. It's not like the code was distributed and whoever wrote it just went behind the scenes and vanished.
More or less. It's actually it's actually very similar right now. Not saying that Nikolai has vanished, but more or less that's what happens.
But also it's a world with multiple projects in cryptocurrency, in the ecosystem. It's not like when there were no decentralized cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. So the situation is different, and I absolutely agree with you on the grassroots community, but it's kind of a chicken and egg, and I see it at least, maybe I'm being too pragmatic, but I think that in order to get to a real community, you need to have a hype cycle. And if there's no PR, there's no hype. So ideally, we're able to find a way for the community as a decentralized community to decide to invest some of the whatever future value in PR. Otherwise, if you don't have a chicken, you won't have an egg later that would lay the egg for the next cycle. That's the way that's how I see it.
Yeah, but future value is like today. There's only an idea. When that's in the tokens which may not have future value, and there is the only. I don't know of any other way to do that. Like to.
I think many ICOs with zero value in their token have managed to bring enough.
Are you suggesting we do the ICO? I mean,
of course not.
No.
I'm just saying no. Of course not. I'm saying that shitty ICOs were managed to bring PR with promises of value of their token. So
and look what happened to them.
Not all of them. Some are still working. And even that, let's prove that we're able to bring the community, and then that we're valuable as a network. Exactly. But if we don't bring the community, we won't even be able to prove our worth.
Yes, of course.
So I think the first degree issue is how do we get to everybody's attention in some way or another. And there was enough PR about Telegram. Maybe we should hook up to that somehow, and spin the negative into a positive.
I think the press is quite responsive and actually working quite nicely with us currently. And there's a great respect, by the way, from me for the press coverage. I think journalists see that as important. What we're doing, and we had a great response from them, I think, so far. I hope that will continue, and as our community grows, I think that right people to know is here, and if that is a community, then the coverage will be will follow. So I understand it's a chicken and the egg, but
Yeah, I also, if I may, I think, also maybe I'll correct myself in terms of a contest for PR. It doesn't necessarily have to involve a PR agency. I mean, what is PR? It's basically somebody talented enough and who knows enough people that would reach out. So individuals who might be PR professionals would be interested in receiving tokens. That would be fine. We don't necessarily need to reach out to a professional PR firm, at least at this point. We just need people who are PR professionals themselves to be aware of contests like this, use their knowledge to create some sort of a proposal for how they can see free ton being exposed to the world, and let them make let them make a proposal. I mean, all of us work for some company, and yet we are here with free ton. I think it would be the same thing. Essentially, what we would be doing, just bringing PR professionals into the community as members. I mean, and that would be enough. I also think that geographic outreach, which we're doing now, is a huge way to do this.
Suggest we move on, guys. It's Nimrod. I think everybody heard your point, and there was a conscious choice to try for the first time in history the concept of decentralized PR. Let's see how with a snowball, thing effect, with analogy of the snowball effect. I think we reached some success. There are a lot of article coverage from CoinDesk, Cointelegraph, and some of the other highly respected media. Some of them may be listening to this, so they will be happy to hear that. And I think it will be more powerful as the partnerships news will start kicking in, and there'll be quite a few. So people would see that 1 month after the launch, there are some partnership announcements happening. Decentralization is being achieved on record timing. Contests every day is making set. So there is a lot of traction. And again, we as a community and the wider community, the 5,000 plus people who joined the declaration, and hopefully some of them listening to this recording, to this broadcast, can contribute in their countries with distributing the news, and I think most importantly at this stage, distributing news about the substance, like contests for validators and developers, and we just take it from there. And then I think that experiment with decentralized PR will be getting more and more attention of journalists. That's my personal opinion.
Does anybody else have anything to add?
Let's have a quick Q&A question session. Yeah, Ron. What about 10 minutes Q&A?
You know what? It would be fantastic. It would be fantastic, except I'm looking at YouTube. We literally have 2 questions.
Yeah, that's great.
and I think they've been answered. So let's see. I mean, I'm going to read it again, but I can see it's been answered by Michael Komarov. It's been answered already, but the question was, can VM instruction be generic about choice of ZKP? And well, Michael answered. Maybe he can just answer live for those who are listening rather than maybe watching the feed. Michael?
My bad. I just skipped.
No problem. You want me to? I'll repeat it. You answered it already, so I mean, but maybe just do it live.
I answered it in chat. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I mean, so the answer was, in some time, a particular ZK construction choice will be implemented, but for now, for performance reasons, this will be Groth 16 only. Then
it's not only for the proof sites. I think is also for the performance in terms of the because Michael is still wants to implement it inside the Ton virtual machine. So for that, you need definitely to be on a lighter side.
Yep, as well. That's true. Oh, come on, that would be convenient. That would be more convenient.
I don't have any problem. Like let's start from this. No problem.
Okay.
If you can put it in TVM.
And guys, to close the loop on my proposal, I just wrote in this chat, in the Zoom chat, that if each of us, wherever we live or work, take a lead on incubating a vibrant and live local community. We have people, if I understand correctly, from 7 countries on this call, and with clear capability to create, to incubate local communities. I think that would be a great start already, and that would be very organic and very natural.
Yeah, yeah. David Karanja says hello from Kenya. Hello, David. Start a Kenyan community, an African community. Be awesome. Somebody asked, where can I find the proposal key?
You can't for now. The proposal key is only for the initial validators who holds the tokens right now. Once the tokens will be distributed a little more, we will replace the proposal key with the wallet address, and the wallet then will vote for. It's actually, the mechanics will be a little bit more complicated than that. You will have to actually stake some tokens to make a proposal, so there will be no spam proposals. But until that implemented, which we hope will be really soon, until that implemented, the proposals are just, meantime proposed by the validators, current validators on the network. Hope that answers that.
All right, as far as the YouTube Q&A goes, that's it. So unless we have questions internally in the group here, internally is the wrong word, the group here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ron, I would like to add that we didn't make announce this time, but 1 p.m. UTC, it's standard time for weekly calls. So if somebody is interested to follow up and to see live, everyone is welcome. Tuesday, 1 p.m. UTC each week.
Yeah, 2 p.m. CET. This is a weekly call. We always doing that at the same time. Please join. And there will be always live streamed. And on Thursday, I have been asked to provide a live session for Russian community, and it's an honor to do that. And 6 p.m. Moscow time. If any more languages or communities wants to live, I'm sure we can organize that. We can bring people to live stream. So live chats. Actually, it will be a Zoom call. Everyone is able to join. And if any community wants that in another language, I'm sure we can find people from the community who speaks the language, and we gladly do that. So please request in chats. Reach out to admins, and please do that. Thank you very much. I think we should wrap up, guys.
Ilyas has great points. Thanks, everyone. We will try to contribute. Thank you very much. And there's just one more that came in at the end there by Pavel Hachatrian.
Hachatrian, yep.
Okay. What about fisherman node?
Yes, there is a slashing conditions being started to being introduced in the latest elector contract by Nikolai. This contract is not on the network yet. We didn't take it because it was too late. It was on the same day, actually committed on the same day the network was launched on 7th of May. So we definitely couldn't work with that yet. But we're analyzing that, and there are some stuff that need to be done and verified. So once we've done that, sometimes we will introduce this contract that hopefully will have already slashing conditions, and the slashing conditions, of course, depends on fisherman work. I think sometimes in June we will gonna discuss that, and we definitely will discuss that with the community before, and we explain how it works, and then we'll have a discussion about that before we actually introduce it into the config parameters voting process of the validators. So it will be a process, not something that we want to do in 2 days or something like that. So it will take time, and you're welcome to participate in the discussions about that when it's available.
Well, I think one of the major things to take away from this is that we definitely all need to get to work immediately, creating contests. So we have a lot of work ahead of us, and let's do it as quickly as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
It was great seeing you again. Take care.
Okay, thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye
All
bye.
right, have a good one. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.